All right, it looks like the Chiefs got their briefs dropped. You predicted a 2-1 win for the Direwolves. We saw the beginning of the 2-1 there. My first question for you, was Rusty wearing a shirt underneath that jacket in that last segment?
Either that, or he had like a towel just under his jacket.
You're rating him
Yeah,
towel
just-
and a cheeky jacket
Yeah.
with a low button up. Well, when you got that chest, show it off. That's what I say. Look, about the game, it looked like it was going back and forth there for a while. Chiefs did find themselves with an advantage here and there. They pressed it as well going into the end game.
Yeah, for sure. When you're, when you're ahead in League of Legends, what you want to be doing is putting the other team in lose-lose situations, and I think that they were doing a pretty good job of that when they're sitting around Baron, and they had Swiper pushing in bot inhib. He managed to get the inhib. They didn't get killed at Baron, which is, that's a big win. You got something for nothing. But they just didn't manage to do that fast enough, and they took a couple fights where BioPanther managed to pick up a bunch of kills, and I guess Direwolves was scary enough that Chiefs stopped being able to team fight them. So I think Chiefs could have won this, but obviously hindsight bias says they didn't.
Well, hindsight's bias and facts. It also, you mentioned that Direwolves were going into this. You said that they had a couple of tricks up their sleeve and they have a calculated plan oftentimes. How did you see that acting out in this game?
It kind of feels like maybe that Direwolves were pretty ready for Chiefs to come out swinging, and they picked a lot of champions that are totally okay with getting dived on. So, Chiefs have picked Camille and Kled, who want to go in, and Direwolves have Mundo, who's a tank, Nocturne, who is diving, and Swain and Vlad. Like, they don't care if you're on top of them. They're just going to press Zhonya's or pull and ignore you. So I think it's a pretty smart comp from Direwolves, but it very, very almost didn't work.
Well, luckily it did, and we managed to see the first win for Direwolves heading into Game 2 very shortly. But before that, the very important game, one right answer. We have some dumb arguments that need settling. You know how this game works. I ask a question, you give me your very strong and opinionated answers. So does Jake. Bryce cops out, and then we move on to the next question. Before we get into the game proper, we did put the call out, your fave Casty Boy segment, to the chat, Jake, like you asked. Big Play or War Room. Big Play took it out with 59% of the people said that is their fave Casty Boy segment.
Why are you celebrating this?
Yes!
We get memed about both of these. If anything, this is one of the ones you want to lose, Bryce.
But I won.
and,
But I won.
and that's all that matters. Okay, so our first one right answer, and of course we want you guys to play along in the chat, so please, this question will pop up and give us your answer. Comes in from @ChiefSangi, who's the Chiefs founder and CEO. Is The Dark Knight Rises terrible? To which I say, yes it is.
Which one's that?
That's the third one.
Okay. That's the one with Bane.
That's the Bane one.
Yeah. Bad movie. It's the bad one. You know how there's two good ones? Is the third one,
See,
that's the bad
I
one.
didn't like the second one.
What?
Yeah, and I get flamed for that.
I liked The Dark Knight Rises. I
Really?
liked the bit where he climbed out of the pit.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
And there
that.
was
Oh,
like
yeah,
the music, and it was really inspirational.
And I like the bit where Alfred's in the coffee shop and, he's... I like all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, so that I believe I actually rewatched it weirdly enough about a week ago. So what we're saying, from my understanding, a 7.5 hour film. There were 2 bits that were good, so that seems good. The chat seems to agree with me though. 63% of people say yes.
The first one was the best. If anyone debates that, you literally have... You're going off memory bias alone. If you rewatch all 3, the first one is clearly the best.
You're a maniac.
I don't think I've seen them all.
And there it is. Our next question comes in from Euphoraz, who says, after turning the water off in the shower, do people dry themselves in the shower, or do they step out into the freezing cold and do it?
I'm in the shower dryer.
How?
Where do you put the towel?
You hang it over the glass door,
No,
but
I don't
only,
think
it
that's
only
right.
works if it doesn't seal at the top.
But the
Yeah.
glass doors have water on it. What shower are you in where
Oh,
there's no water on the glass
No,
doors?
no, no. You just hang it like just enough.
No,
that
I'm
you
talking
can
about
reach
like
it.
how big is your shower that you're like
You don't need
washing your
you don't
back
need the
and-
whole motion. You can do it small. No. See, my problem is
How do you dry your legs?
I've now been relegated to the bottom rung on the towel rack.
Oh,
And my
no.
towel doesn't dry in time, so now I have to hang it on the other side of the room. So now I have to get out.
Did you
to
used
have a
to do
dry
it
towel.
inside?
I would. Yeah, you don't want to get water
You,
everywhere.
you
That's
just
how
dry.
I grew
You
up.
just
Do
dry
people
your
not
top
have
half.
Bath mats? Like,
Yeah.
No. It's because the air's cold. It's because the air's cold. So you dry your top half, and then you wrap your towel around, and then you get out, and then you like sort your legs or whatever, and you've got the space for that. Because you got to like bend over, but you don't have
Nick,
to bend over.
please
to
tell me, father to father, that you dry yourself outside of the shower.
Can I look, father? Yes, I do, because I hop. First of all, the towel rack is far enough away from the shower that I don't want to die by reaching for it. I'm not going to hang it over the top like some sort of like college room
Neanderthal.
animal. But then at the same time, also the question said that. Do you dry yourself in the shower or do you step outside the freezing cold? There's no difference. It's all in the bathroom. The
No.
water isn't still on in
No,
the
no, no.
shower and
There's-
therefore keeping
there's
me
more
warm.
Steam.
There's
The
not
air
much-
is the air is warmer inside the shower cubicle.
That is madness. That's
Get some
madness.
thermometers and test it.
But like I 100% would do it in the shower if the geography of my bathroom worked.
Well,
but it doesn't anymore.
let me
I
tell you
work
this.
with animals.
60. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, you're okay.
67% of the chat agree with you and I.
Thank you.
No.
Avax says you're a something idiot if you try yourself in the shower. And then my favorite answer is Dash BB says use your hands to push off all the water in the shower and then get out and try yourself.
Squeegee yourself with
You
your
gotta squeegee
hands.
yourself out.
What?
The next one comes in
Oh.
from Diane Keto, who says, "Does a straw have 1 or 2 holes?"
Oh, I don't like the
It's-
follow-up argument to this one.
It's a cylinder.
What's
I
your
guess
point?
Does it have?
It's like a donut. It has one hole.
One long hole.
Yes.
So is your mouth and your bum one long hole as well?
It has valves, so no.
Okay.
That's
Just
a very
checking.
good point. Although I did just get I just got word in my ears. The producer just going, "Oh dear."
Yeah, I got that one too.
I would say, yeah, I would agree. It's just one long hole.
Yeah.
It's a cylinder. Is it even a hole, or is a hole something that, like it was deliberately put there in the first place? Like, is that a hole? I don't know. I'm
No.
not some hole scientist.
Technically, yes, it's one long hole.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that, like 100%.
There is,
There's no
this is
debating that.
actually one right answer.
Yeah.
There is
That's
one
true.
right answer.
That is true. One right answer, and we found it. Do we have a statistic on what the chat says? 68% agree. So
Leaving
one,
only
one long hole.
32% wrong.
At this easy mode says, how do you pronounce, and I'm going to say the word, I'm going to spell the word to not lead us into it, S-C-O-N-E. Is it pronounced scone or scone?
Scone.
Scone?
Unless you're a posh Englishman.
Yep.
You
Which
don't
you
say,
are, by the way.
Can I have a scone, please? Like, no. You're like, oh, yeah, I'll have a jam scone.
Yeah, like
Oh.
a bogan.
Yeah,
Or
well,
follow-up question.
I don't
because
No,
think
no,
I
no,
need
I've
to
got the
order
follow-up
scone.
question, so don't you worry about
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Don't you worry
scone.
about that. Scone?
Yeah.
No thanks. That's how you say it. Someone says it to you and you just say no
You're
thanks.
anti-scone or scone? You don't like the treat in general?
Yeah, I think they're low tier.
Oh.
Low tier.
but-
It's the highest possible tier. You go to a high tea, it's literally on the
No.
highest tier.
No. That's a mistake. You want to go for like the little mini cheesecakes.
You are just
Oh.
And I would
hanging
say- I would
towels on
say
top
scone.
of glass doors. We're not eating scones or scones. You would say what?
Scone.
Scone. I mean, I agree, but here's my thing. My dream, when this whole esports thing falls over, is that I'm going to start up a little pop-up scone shop, and I wanted to come up with a cool name for it. I have 2 good names, but it is all
no.
relies on the spelling and the pronunciation. There is Scone in 60 seconds, which is like the scone, but then I also like X-scone give it to you, and that I have to say scone, and there needs to be consistency. But we've got over 60% are saying scone, so
when you
sorry,
have your
93% are saying scone.
When
so,
you have your scone,
yeah,
do you go jam, then cream, or cream, then dollop of jam?
before you answer that, I would like to say that you and BC Storer have exactly the same question in mind.
BC Storer, you are a gun.
No cream. Just jam.
What?
Cream sucks.
That
It's
is
so
the
bad.
driest thing
Okay.
ever.
Yes, and it's delicious.
I'm upset with you, Bryce, because I like cream and I can't have it. Because
you-
Oh.
because
So
no,
do you not
right.
have cream on anything? Like if Kitty brings us in a lovely sticky date pudding, or like
would-
a
I would-
self-saucing chocolate cake, or something like that.
Yeah, ice cream. Not like a dollop of cream, like ice cream. Like vanilla ice cream.
Bryce, and I say this, you know I love you, right? You're a real piece of shit. That is terrible. That is terrible. First of all, the correct answer is jam and then cream, because if you put the cream on first, you can't smear the jam in the way because it is on a slippery surface.
Can you
the
say
jam
that again?
Smear. Because you need to smear the jam and then you dollop the cream. I know you've never had it because you die, but if you could, you'd do it that way, right?
Well, it depends how viscous your jam is.
Oh my
right?
God, it's like I'm looking at Bryce, but in some sort of weird cyclone costume.
It's like normal jam.
Yep.
I think jam first. But
Yep.
if you had like runny jam, which I think is a thing,
Good question.
then I think you'd be better off doing cream first.
Look, you're probably right, but we'll never know because we do need to get to the next question. But 61% of the chat say that it is jam first, and they are the correct 61%. But it is time to head into the next game while you all consider how terrible you are when you put the cream on first.
Maybe the most contentious version
Yeah.
of one right answer this show has ever seen. I love
Also,
it.
I like that Johnny brings like a technical aspect. You know, he's talking about the viscosity of the jam, whereas everyone else is like, oh, nah, trash opinion, trash opinion. He's just like, no, I have the scientific facts to prove you all wrong.
And we are into Champions League for game number 2 of what is an absolute banger series. So let's get straight back into it. As Direwolves taking on the Chiefs. Direwolves able to grind out game 1, 41 minutes was the game time. Yasuo and Lulu, the band's Morgana, also joined them on the bench.
Yep, obviously swapping sides. Do we see any differences to Chiefs on the red side ban away things like the Nocturne, stuff like that? Of course, Babbitt was playing Camille that game, and Chiefs had an early lead, but surprisingly, it wasn't through the jungle games with Camille.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. And I would say that that was actually one of the poorer games that we have seen young Babbitt play in a long time.
Yep, we're watching the highlights package, and that team fight in the mid lane.
Probably took shot at a person.
Yep, instead of the wall. You know, there's a lot of stuff flying around, but unfortunately, that sometimes happened, and I was oohing because Aatrox gets banned on blue side.
So maybe that just shows that Direwolves do not play it, even though Biopanther did play it.
But the thing is,
which
maybe
strange.
Triple doesn't, right? Because
Ooh.
on this patch, Smite Aatrox is just the most broken thing in existence. We've seen it banned every single game today. No team has been willing to leave it up, but the fact that Chiefs on the red side, the side that always has to ban the OPs, gets a free ban to expend into the Mundo, pretty big deal.
Yes, absolutely is. It's going to be Rakan first pick, taken by Direwolves. And once again, the Chiefs still trusting that their way to play the game was right.
Going back to what they already did, it's going to be the Swain in the hands of Raze or Ryoma this time instead of King, but Babip goes back to the early game jungler, and I feel like that is what you need if you're the Chiefs into the Direwolves. We've seen that slow game that Direwolves want to play. Of course, Chiefs weren't successful in game number 1 in translating their early lead, but I don't think they're about to go and try and take Direwolves late. That's not what they want to do, and you're seeing it here.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to go with Galio Camille. A duo that I would say in Oceania was really brought back in by order, and before that was played exclusively by your mob when you're on the lineup in the Chiefs.
It's real good. It's real fun. It's really reliable, you know?
Everyone started playing Jarvan Galio,
Yep.
and then when people flashed out, you felt real bad. So you're like, if only there
How do
was
I
a
keep
Jarvan
them
ult
in?
that you can't flash out of. And then everyone was like, there is. You just only get to take one with you.
Daruk feeling a lot more comfortable in game number 2. He's lost the jacket.
Yeah, rolls
Just-
the sleeves
just-
up.
yeah, roll the
That's when
sleeve,
you know
just
he's
goes-
going to work.
Yeah. You know, he walks into the office in the jacket.
Yeah.
Once you get there, immediately off. Of course, Direwolves picked up Sejuani and Lucian. So they didn't go for the Zyra Khan. They had the option there, but King obviously much more comfortable on the Lucian here once that earlier game power spike.
Was your dad one of those dads that wore suits during the day and then like weird, random, casual clothes at night? And on
What?
weekends? Like my dad, right? So he was obviously financial planner, insurance broker. So he would wear real nice suits during the day because he's out seeing clients.
Yep.
And he's Italian. But then he was one of those Italians that thought he was really Aussie. So he used to wear like the short, like you know what I'm talking about, the shorts.
Yeah, okay.
And then like a Bintang singlet and
Oh.
like just like thongs. And
I
it
mean-
literally could be 4 degrees in Melbourne, right? I guarantee today, right now, because he is retired, that is the exact look he is rocking.
Nah, my dad never rocked that look. But I mean, he definitely like goes to work in like uniform or a suit, and then like is in when you're not at work, you're not still wearing your suit.
I don't know, like,
So you wear
didn't you
casual
have that
clothes.
weird dad when you played basketball that wouldn't show up to the basketball game and like he wouldn't get changed, he would just come to the basketball game in a suit?
Are you
Even though
asking-
you know
Oh.
he'd been home?
Oh no.
Oh, didn't you? Oh,
No.
okay, maybe it's just my weird upbringing. So is KP like fancy? Like, is he a stylish guy? Like, is he like you? Does he like uphold a very good
Oh.
physical maintenance?
There's so much happening in the draft, and you're talking about my dad's fashion. He's stylish enough, you know. He's got a bit dad fashion, but I like it. Heimerdinger. Going back to the game, we might get a Heimerdinger. That's Pike.
All right,
locked in.
let's go through everything.
Yes.
It's going to be Vladimir Poppy, Alistair Fiddlesticks, Pike lock-in, Gangplank Mordekaiser lock-in,
Yeah.
Heimerdinger in the hover for literally 30 seconds before change to a Talia.
Yeah, that's super weird. Where's Talia going? Might just be in the bottom lane. You expect Mordekaiser versus Rakan. I said King may be more comfortable on the Lucian, but it looks like Triple actually just going to take that one mid lane into the Galio. Galio does very well into mages. Has that magic damage shield and itemizes effectively, but Lucian, with the Ignite, able to abuse him early.
In saying that, Talia, Galio should kill Lucian lots of times. And what's being in, like, the 3 to 5 time, in my opinion. Because if he is flashless, he has to walk up nearly into taunt range, and Talia will one-hit him after level 5. Talia does bonkers damage, Bryce.
We saw Talia bonkers damage in the Order series early in the game. Level 2, level 3. If the CC lands, Flick lands, that's a defensive summonerless Lucian as he's going to pick up the Ignite.
Not taking Cleanse. That's real bold. I like it out of Triple. Go through the lane. Swiper's actually taken Camille, a pick that we saw him move very far away from. Thoughts about Swiper going back towards that?
Yeah, obviously confident in his form coming into today. Feels like has retained that, got back to the level he wants to be. You normally see Chiefs when they pick the Camille goes to the jungle, but obviously opting for the Talia this time. I think another interesting lane in the Swain and the Pyke. We talk about it.
Best
Those
lane.
two. Being able to pull back off the Pyke CC and then land the Never Move ever so easily, especially against a melee laner like King on the Mordekaiser. If he falls down, there's not a lot of range that the Direwolves have, so they can hit, like they can clear the way very easily if they get access, but if CC lands, it can be rough.
And the Direwolves, known for their standard play, known for the slow, methodical, you know, they bring the same consistent thing every day. They don't cheese, they just play completely normal until this game has happened. Sharp, welcome to the desk.
How you going,
Your
guys?
boys running melee bottom lane in the Mordekaiser. What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, King loves a bit of Mordekaiser down there in the bot lane. Yeah, I guess like we haven't played it, have we? Direwolves haven't played that in OPL yet.
We've played the Jace Sejuani lane, picked up a few things, but not the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I mean, Calvin's been playing a bit of it. He likes it. I think he felt comfortable being able to pull it out this game, and again, we'll see how it goes.
And I'm interested. This is a theory I've developed behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Gangplank.
Yeah.
You can judge them on how rough they think the matchup's going to be on a scale of Klepto to Grasp and
Yeah.
like how early they finish their
Yeah.
Sterax and things like that. Of course, Bioban, they're going for the Klepto. Like, how is he feeling on this sort of matchup into Swiper? Not really known for the Camille, but obviously had a very good game 1.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that Klepto is a sign of his confidence from game 1.
Yeah.
You know, he threw a few cleavers and some heads and in some backs as well, and now he's got the Klepto, so maybe he's feeling confident and got the one up on Swiper. So, I mean, yeah, like, again, Bio, I feel like is a very underrated. I mean, so far, I guess he hasn't really proven himself. It's kind of hard to say underrated because he hasn't proven himself, but I think we will see him in the OPL step up. And, I mean, I am going to like make a bold call and say that he is flexible playing both carries and tanks. And I think we'll increasingly see him on more of a diverse champion pool as the weeks progress. And I mean, I think hopefully this game he's able to show his prowess on not just the tanks, but the carries also.
I think that if anyone doubted after Rift Rivals, probably should not be the case any longer. Had a terrific Rift Rivals. And I want to talk about that tournament because, you know, people are saying Chiefs versus Direwolves, hype, first versus second. You guys obviously stellar performance at Rift Rivals in the group stage and obviously disappointing loss in the finals, but it was only one game. I think people really oversold that one. Was it hard to keep the players grounded? You know, they wanted to win it for OS. I know they would have liked to. Now they're going up against older rivals. How was the week lead up into this game?
Yeah, like the guys were very, very disappointed, myself included, about that we weren't able to like step up for OS when it mattered. And again, like it's a bit of a disappointment not only on our behalf, but like the fans who've come out to support us and want to see Direwolves really perform on the international stage. We failed to do that. So I mean, I think this was a really big opportunity and a great opportunity for us to kind of show everyone that we are the top dog still. And showed all the fans that were at Rift Rivals that, you know, we're not to be underrated.
And I mean, we're now halfway through the season. I mean, nearly to the day. How is the Direwolves tracking? You're the coach. You've obviously got your checklist in your head. Like, without going in too far into specifics, like, everything looking good for you guys to be able to make another run at that Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a great indicator of how we will go moving forward. Bit of action here.
Yeah, it certainly is, Ryan. It looks for a little bit of a cheeky taunt.
Sorry, I had
Sure,
to. Is my team on the line here? Nah. But yeah, I think this itself is a great indicator of how we will progress for the rest of the split. And to be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if this also is a bit of an indication of how the gauntlet and the finals will go, right? Like since Chiefs Direwolves, we know at least are going to be in the at least in the gauntlet. and then some other contenders up in there. But I mean, yeah, I think this is kind of sets the scene. And also something that's extremely underrated is the confidence that this team gets from winning this series leading up. You know, it's just such a big confidence boost. So yeah, for both teams, it's extremely big.
Certainly is. The only time these two teams will play each other in the regular season because they're in opposite groups. Thanks so much for joining us, Sharp. Always a pleasure.
No worries.
Of course, Sharp, head coach of the Direwolves. Just, you know, giving us some insight into the psyche of his players, because they are, even though they play relatively calm, they're a pretty emotional bunch when you see them around. And I think he does a pretty good job of, you know, keeping them pretty level.
Maintaining a level head, incredibly important. A lot of new players into the OPL and onto the competitive stage get too hyped up on match day. You know, you're chasing kills instead of doing objectives like you should be. So it's incredibly important. We almost saw some action in the mid lane. You talked about the potency of a Galio-Taliyah combo very early, and if that CC lands, it's just so easy to follow up with a kill. And Direwolves do a good job at dodging that one out.
They certainly do. Biopanther allowed himself to be pushed in early. Actually just started shooting Swiper over and over again. And then backing out of the creep wave, meaning that his creeps were taking a lot of aggro. Now goes back. Wonder if he just picks himself up the Sheen first.
24 CS. Started with a Corrupting Pot, so that is enough to pick it up. So, as you mentioned, just going to TP back to the lane with Sheen. Feels good.
It is the best feeling as gameplay. You're on top of the world. You've probably got Time Warp Tonic, which is just such a good mastery at the moment. And you're just chilling.
And once again, Chiefs looking for the mid lane.
Oh, and actually Biopanther might look for the solo kill. Nut doesn't go for it.
Oh, and off screen, that's actually flash burnt by Triple.
Telling you, you cannot live through this lane.
And that's flash without Ryoma having to burn his own. So he just went for the Justice Punch, went for the stun.
Oh, Biopanther doesn't go for it. However, now the Taliyah in behind you can see that Ryoma is there too. Only level 5, so not all that threatening.
Wants absolutely nothing to do with that one, so does just ultimately back away. Is on vision as he hits away the scrying plant. So Churnfire gets spotted, and Biopanther got to do his best to knock away the crap, but...
Oh, and Big Swip's responds in kind. Bryce goes back, gets himself the Sheen, and says 2 can tango. These guys have legitimate kill threat on each other now, especially with jungles.
You know, could have gone tabbies, could have gone defensive, just try and farm out the lane, but as you mentioned, want that kill threat. Bottom lane has been pretty even for the most part. The fact that no junglers have been down there to influence means that King and Cupcake have been fine just shoving it in constantly. We've seen Swain's early game just get shoved in time and time again, especially when Destiny is on a pick like the Pyke. So he's just taking his moments, got himself a recall and floating up the river to place some vision. They're just trying to slowly control the bottom hand side of the map as they do get shoved in.
And the reason I like Swain Pyke is because this is the one lane I feel like Pyke doesn't have to leave the lane. Until we see him coupled with something like a Varus or an Ashe, I feel like this lane has legitimate kill threat, 2v2, at nearly every stage of the game, especially when the ultimates come online.
They have that reliability. They have the E flash stun from the Pyke. Followed up just so nicely. Ryoma, once again, shoving mid lane, but Babip potentially looking for a bit of dive onto Biopanther. Is full HP, has his flash as well.
Going to be level 6 quite soon as well, so they have to go before he gets it. They're bringing over multiple members.
Gets it.
Gets level 6, and now they will go. So under the turret they go. Ultimate is going to be popped. Orange is not yet used, and he does dodge out on that hook.
Oh.
Burns the flash as well. However, now Ryoma is up here, and there is no way Biopanther lives through this one. Flash is burnt by Ryoma, and they get Thirst Blood.
Very easy dive from the Chiefs, but Biopanther plays it incredibly well. Flick doesn't land on the CC from Swiper, so buys enough time. All of a sudden, he almost trades his flash for Ryoma's, which is a pretty damn big deal for Direwolves, especially in the mid lane.
Certainly is. Cupcake tried to make something happen bottom side and just gets chunked out. It's not a winning trade, however. It burns his pot charges, and now potentially looking for a dive down here.
Churn 6.
It certainly is. Goes for the flash ultimate. No, actually, he didn't burn the flash ultimate. That was just a normal ultimate, so Ray's able to flash it.
That's the thing. Raze burns the summoner. E from Destiny gets himself out of the way, but Direwolves
so
making a return play on the other side.
There, would he would have guaranteed that. I can't believe he got that close.
Does he?
Because with flash ulti, you throw it from where your flash is. So if you flash on top of someone, I don't know whether maybe Raze predicts it.
I feel like there's no guarantee in there. You have to predict the flash, which is honestly a pretty safe prediction at this stage. Like if he went for that play and just predicts that Raze is going to flash, that Destiny's going to dash, then you landed probably more times out of 10 than what he did do.
Yeah.
I just went for the more reliable play. If they don't flash it, we get a kill. If they do, we get the summoner.
Yeah, absolutely the case. So the Chiefs now with first blood equalize the gold. Big Gold leads in the mid lane for the Direwolves, given the 10 CS, as well as the fact that they've got a Targon support, which we don't talk about much, but gives Cupcake a nice lead.
Absolutely does. And it's interesting, Triple actually went for Berserker's Greaves Rush. So he hasn't gone for Cleanse, he hasn't gone Tabbies or anything like that, just feeling very confident in this matchup. They've invested a lot of vision around the mid lane in terms of where the Taliyah is, because Galio by himself isn't doing squat to the Lucian. He's going to have priority to be able to bully the Galio around, but as soon as Taliyah enters the fray, then all of a sudden there's kill threat onto the Lucian. So Direwolves, their pink ward's bottom side now going to get cleared out, but they've been sitting there for a couple of minutes. Does Babib check the second one? Does he check the bush? He does. As it's actually Ryomo hitting the dot bush.
Yep. That's fine. Going to be able to pick themselves up a Scuttle Crab as well. You see Direwolves bottom lane had to actually back away as well from spell flinging under the turret because Taliyah Galio, whilst not the most conventional delivery system, I'm sure it does the trick.
Yeah, absolutely. Potential there. But this is a fairly slow early game. Ryomo has hit level 8. You judge Galios on their ability to do something at 6. Hasn't found an avenue. You expect it to be dives on the top side with Swiper and the Camille. You have that easy execution onto a flashless GP.
So who do you think wins a slow early game? Because it is only 400 gold. Really, it's nothing at this stage of the game. Who do you think is coming out ahead?
I think Direwolves, 100%. They have a Gangplank with Klepto if he's not falling super far behind. They have straight up hard tank engage from the jungle. They have a traditional AD carry. It's not in the bot lane, but the fact that Mordekaiser at the melee lane is able to get through lane unscathed, I feel like 100% favors the Direwolves in this situation.
So they will start up the Dragon for themselves. You can see right now they're going to send King over there as well. Uniqueness of the Mordekaiser as they actually go top lane. So hold that thought. That's going to be Swiper underneath the turret once again. Biopanther gets knocked off and will continue to run away. Swiper has to burn the flash this time around. Ryomo is still tanking it up, and Biopanther will fall down, but gets so much one more time.
And he's died twice to dives, but has played them so incredibly well, bought so much time. Mordekaiser gets the Dragon, picks him up, pulls him into mid lane. And sure, Chiefs got the dive, they got the kill, but they might just lose mid-turret.
Certainly could be the case. That is a double teleport coming in. Instant engage comes out of the Direwolves. However, this is not going well for them right now. Triple, however, going to get a double kill. And the Direwolves somehow turn around. Destiny has to flash forward, but the turret's going to go down. First turret will be picked up. 2 kills, and the Chiefs are absolutely routed.
Direwolves play that so incredibly well. Turret aggro juggled with the stopwatches, and they just have enough damage. That was a huge taunt. Ryomo landed immediately onto every single member, but they all have summoners. You see how many just off cooldown from the Direwolves. That's 6 between the 4 of them, almost everything burning.
And that was a 4v3, but the Direwolves play it so well.
And they almost have another member in the Dragon. Maybe not, because he just walks away, but huge taunt. Destiny can't get into reset. He looks for it. Triple burns the flash to live, and King on the back end uses the stopwatch, so they just pick up the kills. As soon as the first engage doesn't do enough damage to the Chiefs, they just get wiped.
This is just such a good game coming out of the Direwolves, and you can see why many people still regard them as the top of the OPL. You know, Raze gets frustrated. He feels like his team doesn't get the credit they need, but right now, you have to still just look at this Direwolves lineup and kind of marvel at how well they play these situations.
And talking about being cool under pressure, you know, that was a double TP, that was a flanking pike. They knew what was happening and they chose to stay under the turret. They chose to opt in for that fight. They know it's risky, but they make the right play and come out of it victorious.
And this is the first time I feel like the Direwolves have thrown a curveball during their draft. They've drafted Mordekaiser. You know, the Jace Sejuani was weird, but it kind of does the same thing as what a normal AD carry support bottom lane does. But no one really plays against Mordekaiser, and yet they seem to be incredibly comfortable. So, you know, a little bit of cheese in the Direwolves probably makes them scarier, to be honest.
I'm trying to think back, and I feel like I just have this inkling that King has played a Mordekaiser game this split.
Has he?
He has. We got confirmation from the production room, so he has. We were wrong.
Who did he play it with?
Who did he play it with?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I have no idea.
Because normally you play double Targons when you play Mord. And you go something like...
Was it Ali?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You go Alistar. But, that's so... actually, I do remember it now because there was a very fed member in an Aatrox on the other team. And he got his ghost twice.
Yes, that was the pause game.
Yeah, certainly
yeah, versus Tectonic,
Don't mention the pause. However, this is going to be the Rift Herald picked up.
Direwolves do it cleanly, you know, they have the map control, they have the pink ward, and Chiefs feel like they can't contest. Ryomo wants his ulti to be back off cooldown. They want to be making plays with the Camille Galio. You expect this composition from the Chiefs to be the proactive ones, but the fact that they have fallen behind, it's only a 2,000 gold lead, but Direwolves just trying to play it slower once again. They have the gangplank, they have the control there, not opting into super big fights, but they just keep taking objectives.
Camille Galio is actually really hard to make work from behind. If you just don't have the damage to initially blow something up, cross-map plays when you've used so much of your composition are so easy to make. So the Chiefs probably have one more window, and if they don't make it work emphatically, this game will be very tough.
14 minutes in. Still a while away from that Baron, but you have to think if it ever gets to that point, and Chiefs haven't found a way back in, it's going to be super rough. Direwolves flipping the map, so BioPanther goes down bottom lane. He might just be able to get that turret before Swiper rocks up, but...
And you mentioned, you know, no flash, no Merc Treads on the Lucian. They put so much pressure onto Swiper's lane as opposed to Ryoma's lane. Do you think that was a mistake? Kind of how AV used to play this composition where they would just march to Pabu's lane every single time?
I mean, like, absolutely. He's still sitting on the stopwatch, so you have that 8-minute like mark where the Lucian, you can bully him very early. They burnt the flash on that first gank. It was off screen, but they just Justice punch forward. And he's obviously in taunt range, so he flashes away. The Lucian has nothing left at that point. He has minutes before he actually has that safety. But the fact that he got through that point in the lane and they didn't expend more to Ryoma, then all of a sudden Triple has a Bork, has Berserker's Greaves, and hasn't been punished when he should have been.
Because I still feel like if they just, you know, flash taunt him, he probably dies. Even, like, just through flick duration. We saw game number, was it game number 1 of Order versus this? I'm trying to think back when the Rakan just dashed in, CC, flicked through the pebbles. At the end of the game, Swain died. It's now Triple actually going to put big damage in. The flick will land, ulti will miss. However, now Babip has to flash away, gets Ignite and falls down.
And I was going to say, you're talking about Chiefs making a play onto the Lucian, and they can't right now because the Rift Herald is available. All of a sudden, enough time passes, Direwolves, they're the ones to go in. They get the pick, and they're going to benefit even more.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, this mid lane turret should fall down. Gold should go over to Triple and Cupcake. And, I mean, you hate to call games early, but I think the Direwolves outscale, and I think they are so damn far ahead.
Does he get a charge? Oh, he does. That hurts. That was like a 2 HP Rift Herald. And the changes to that, it doesn't matter what the HP is anymore. Sure, you'll take it off, but the damage doesn't scale as heavily to what Shelly's HP is. So that's a half HP mid lane in a turret at only 15 minutes into the game.
And now you've got the utter capitulation of mid lane. 2 turrets gone, as well as the fact that Triple can just push in whenever he wants, because we've seen him winning these duels. Chiefs have no control over this map, although now starting up a Dragon. What do you think their next move is? Like, do they have to throw the Hail Mary?
I feel like they 100% do. You have Pyke from the support position that can reset a fight if you get the pick off, if you get the Camille Galio combination, but they just haven't found a way to look for that fight. Every time they're trying to set it up, Direwolves make a play on the other side of the map. It's good that they take the Air Drake just off the map so that Mordekaiser isn't getting another one.
Yep. So
the Direwolves don't have another play to make right now, but it was 13 minutes when we talked about it. 3.5 minutes ago, but we're getting closer and closer to Baron. And Direwolves, once they set up at that point, that's a Triforce for GP. You're going to be approaching Black Cleaver for Triple in the mid lane, and it's going to be rough.
Swiper takes a big chunk of damage out of BioPanther right now. Didn't go the Sterix, just went the Trinity Force. So
he's
Klepto
balling.
Trinity Force, level
Babip.
11. Face checks Babip, will take a lot of damage. We'll have to burn the flash to get out.
That's such a funny interaction. Face checks at Talia and shoots him in the face. Literally melee range. Has to burn the flash to get away from the flick. Nicely used, and we'll just buy some time.
However,
Triple
now
looking for more.
Ryoma in big trouble. Will get the taunt off, but that's someone that wants to auto-attack you. Nice flick into the wall, and that's with Ryoma doing no damage. You see, meanwhile, top lane turret falls down.
And Swiper was looking for the flank here on the Camille. He wanted to come into the mid lane, but flash burn from Ryoma. They have to back away from the play. TPs get cancelled, and Direwolves once again maintain control.
And Shern could smell Swiper. He knew he was in his jungle somewhere, went looking for him. Big Swoops just gets away in time.
Recall. Gets him out of dodge. He's actually just going to take up the red buff. That's a level 11 Shernfire, so has rank 2 in his ultimate. Working towards that Knight's Vow. Wants to keep the Lucian alive in these fights. They know what Chiefs want to do. That's a very broadcast composition. Camille needs to go in. Galio's going to land. You have Swain and Talia there to deal damage. Pyke is kind of like the wild card. He can look for hooks. He can look for the damage. And GP, if they dive onto him, then Lucian's going to pop off. If you go into the Mordekaiser, he's probably going to live longer than any other carry, so it's all going to be in the Lucian, and they need to keep Triple alive.
All right, we see the Chiefs once again push in for this bottom lane. Turret is going to fall down. Big Swifts, Trinity Force Tiamat will wreck the turrets.
Absolutely. You can see the missing ping into the bush from Biopanther, so expected Babip to be floating the side laner once again for the Chiefs. They get themselves a nice turret.
There was a blue ward in there that he popped last time, so able to spot him out. Nicely done. Oh, actually, Swiper goes in, gets a little bit of damage. Biopanther turns around, gets the speeder, and now we'll just start kiting him out.
W misses, so Swiper doesn't get the health back. It's actually a one trade for the Gangplank. And as this is happening, top side of the map, Direwolves just maintain complete control. Very deep vision. There's a pink ward in the Golem bush, but that's all Chiefs have.
Swiper goes in one more time. This time it is going to be the ultimate coming out as well from Babip. But the flash has to come out of Swiper, and now Babip has just been left by himself. Wall does fall. Shern's going to continue to chase him, and he smells blood, continues to go forward, has that red buff, and will just be able to continue to chase through. Flick is there, and the rest of the Wolf Pack is converging, and they get in, they pick up the double kill, and they are absolutely steamrolling.
And Chiefs look for the play. They wanted to pick on the GP, has no flash underneath his turret, but Direwolves, they read it, already floating down. Shernfire recalled. They had so much control topside, and he knows what's going to happen. But Bip has been shadowing Swiper for so long, and they read the play, the counter, and an even bigger gold lead for the Wolfpack.
And this whole game seems to just be that play thrown over and over again. Gank bio top, and it has cost them so much. It cost them the first Dragon, mid lane turret, and now they are in a 5,000 gold hole 20 minutes into this game.
Because that's 3 dives under turret that Bio has received. Sure, his scoreline is like 1 and 2, but he's done so well to live in so many of these situations. Triple.
Headbutt to wall.
Bit unlucky there. But Chiefs have just expended so much time, and
he's backing on a pink ward. He might be in some trouble here, Triple. No, will run away in time. Nicely done.
Is he backing on the pink ward?
Yep.
He had a sweeper on. Walked into the bush.
4 auto attacks is a long time.
It is. Not when you're Lucian and you have a double tap.
Yeah, true. It's still, it's just less time than you would normally invest.
Yep. So it does ultimately just back away. We've now hit the 20-minute mark, so if Direwolves want to make a play, they can on the top side. If Chiefs look for that play once again, if Babip goes bot side, Swiper goes down, sure, maybe they get the kill onto GP this time. His flash still not available, has not finished the Sterax, and without Shernfire there, you might kill the GP, but Direwolves will answer on the other side of the map. The big purple worm is up and available, so...
Very real threat as well. Double melee with Shernfire. They will do it very quickly. The new changes to Sejuani really helped her out in that regard. As we see this current state of the game, 5,000 gold lead. CS still fairly even. Chiefs doing a good job in that regard. Do you think there is a window for them to fight? Is it level 16? Is it, potentially 2.5 items on these carries?
I feel like 2-item spike is definitely needed. You want Swiper to hit that Hydra. You want Swain to have his Zhonyas. And at that point you can, but...
They're going to look for it before. Then that is the ultimate thrown out of Shern. Gets the flash again from Babip.
I think item spikes are just much less relevant and being able to find a pick. Chiefs have to be creative here. Direwolves have just the most standard setup in League of Legends. Their top laner's just farming bot, he has TP. They're pushing in, denying vision around the Baron buff, and Chiefs are going to have to pull a miracle. This might be it.
Swiper has the flank here, will be able to get Cupcake, but that is both ultimates used and nothing so far gained. Meanwhile, Babip on the back end of this team fight is going very low. Raze will fly in, King will fall down, so that is 1 kill and a shutdown of that.
Does Babip die to the Mord ulti on the back end? Oh, barely just lives, so they find a pick. It was a big expense, and all they're going to get is an Air Drake.
But time and time again, Swiper was cheating in, so you have to say that job well done by the top laner. Shern, Hawk will hit him. Will get ripped back, however, dashes away, and that will be a Dragon just falling down right now.
So Chiefs have 2, makes moving around the map a lot easier. Mostly for Swiper. He's against Biopanther, has the priority, has the control. Means he can cheat into Fog of War much better. As Chiefs get closer and closer to their Zhonya's second buy for the Mages, to the 10-stack Rod of Ages. You talked about the item spikes. It's all going to come down to the engage, but having the damage to back it up is super important.
And getting rid of another stopwatch, this time onto Cupcake. Really only Lucian's left available before they have a plethora of options.
Not to mention Baron is a huge threat on the map right now. King suddenly has no summoners, no exhaust, no flash. These small advantages are really going to make the difference if the Chiefs are ever going to get a successful fight.
And in the team fight, Mordekaiser sucks.
Yeah.
He's real bad. Till you get a Ghost, you're like half a champion.
And if you don't,
Just say half a champion.
it just feels real bad.
Because you pick him for the Dragon most of the time. You have very good push control bottom lane. Dragons just siege so well. Obviously, the Ghost is also helpful. But haven't really seen all that much out of the Mordekaiser pick this time around.
And I like that Direwolves have paired Mordekaiser. Like, obviously, it's a lot dependent on the draft. The fact that Chiefs just blind pick the Galio and they can go for the Lucian. But they pair it with a traditional AD carry. So you have that sustained AD damage. Whereas normally the Mordekaiser replaces that role. So Direwolves still overall have a well-rounded composition, despite having like the weird pick in the bottom lane.
Direwolves get the only blue orb out of the Chiefs. Still obviously have the Swain W.
Weaver's Wall, but that's not even on cooldown right now.
True. Actually, they have a lot of tools then to check.
But Destiny is spotted on a ward right now, and Swiper will walk over it as well. So Babip shows his face, and Direwolves know exactly what's going on.
So right now you can see Destiny looking for something. Shern
That's a real smooth animation.
doesn't spot him yet, and Destiny going to try and clear out a ward.
They're actually just looking for the flank here. They know that eventually Chiefs will have to ward the Baron Pit. They do have a pink ward in there now, so Shernfire goes over to clean that up, but they don't have the best chase, right? Like, the engage from Shernfire will come out, and you want to blow a champion up. Mordekaiser very slow. You talked about in team fights, needs time to catch back up. So they're looking to, from a 5-man perspective, come in from the flank. You want Chiefs to walk through Raptors to the bush, ward over the wall, and then you're in behind them. They don't find it. So ultimately, everybody just backs away.
And they're getting closer to that level 16 mark. You can see right now, Swiper level 14. We saw Camille at Rift Rivals, like 40% health, another top laner. Was it Swiper?
Swiper? Yes. Absolutely. Like,
In that 1v1 in bottom lane
yeah,
try.
was it an Aatrox?
Yeah, I
was
think
it a Darius?
Something like that. Darius, I think.
I think it was a Darius, yeah, and he just like one-shots him
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
That was bonkers damage. So we know it does happen. Is going Ravenous Hydra. Probably Sterix after that. Sterix picked up right now for Biopanther. So he's ahead of the curve.
Makes sense to like kind of complete the lifesteal versus something like a GP. Whereas you go for the Sterix if you're versus Darius, you want to deny the one-shot
Does he go for the
potential.
1v1 right now? In the
Swiper's going
bottom
in.
lane, you can see he goes for it, but now Dax ducks back out.
Biopanther knew he would win the fight there. Has the Sterix kind of stepped up to the plate, stepped around his barrel rather than backwards. So
Had 3 members of the Direwolves also running bottom lane.
Yep.
Gives you confidence when
yeah,
that's
it does.
happening.
Absolutely. They're going to try and clear out some vision. King, unfortunately, can't hit that one.
So again, this is a game where the Direwolves have
Does he
been
get it?
ahead,
Oh, he does.
but they just are not in a hurry. Putting the Chiefs to the grind again. They're saying we scale very well.
Yeah. Last Whisper picked up by the Lucian. Wants to get himself to that. It's a bit weird to see a Last Whisper just sat on with a Zeal as well.
Is
But-
better as a base item now that it is just armor.
Doesn't want to upgrade. They don't need an Executioner's Calling. There is a Swain, but there's no Mundo. There's no real hard tank that he has to chew through. Of course, Galios on this patch go a lot more for damage. They go Zonyas, they go Rod of Ages.
Aftershock gives you like all the resistance that you really need as a Galio. As we see a little bit of pressure now coming out of the Chiefs as they'll try and siege in the mid lane. And Direwolves just look like they want power spikes on their carries, or potentially they want a dragon before they make the next play.
Yeah, playing it super slow. I feel like Chiefs are kind of happy that Direwolves haven't started up the Baron yet. I feel like before they'd finish their double Zonyas, before Swiper hit 2 items, if they have to fight around the Baron, they're like, oh man, like this sucks. It's going to be a rough situation. Of course, it's going to come down to the engage, but
Swiper has been spotted out, and Shern
He
has
is.
not. Swiper
Oh,
goes over the wall,
cancel.
gets knocked off. It has to ulti up Shern. Teleport coming in. Swiper actually flashes over the wall, and that will be no. That's a cancel teleport potentially. And now everyone from the Direwolves, they flash forward onto Triple. However, he gets a full duration culling out, and he just pumps the damage into them.
barely out of range of the hook, barely out of range of the pebbles, and Chiefs, they burn everything. Double TP into the bottom lane, cancel because Direwolves have priority. They try to get the pick onto Triple, but doesn't land, and that's a lot of cooldown.
Swiper is now behind. Biopanther, however, does not go for the play. You could see Ryoma cheating across, but they want this level 16.
And do Direwolves just go over to the Baron? That's level 11 on Rakan. They have rank 2 ulti. 16 hit by Lucian, approaching for King and Biopanther.
And the Lucian is just getting bigger and bigger, not having to split farm with anyone, just continually going back to that top wave, catching it whenever he wants. Chiefs, again, get to Dragon first. This is a good boon for them.
Yeah, they do not have access to Weaver's Wall. They don't have access to Camille ulti either, so in terms of getting into the backline and CCing, locking someone down for the Galio, Could be hard, but Triple's just starting up the Baron.
Yeah, Fancy's a 1v1 and takes half of his health with it. I think that's a little bit of a mistake potentially. Dashes back in, gets a heal, but the Chiefs do know this is happening because they are doing it on vision. Triple now has to grab himself Fruit.
Cupcake doesn't want the engage. Just goes over the wall, gets to the rest of the teammates. And that was a very interesting play. Dragon spawning.
It's
It
just
is
an ocean.
only an ocean, but Chiefs had control down on the bottom side. They go up to Baron, force them to rotate, force Chiefs to walk up. So Direwolves, they pull away as soon as Chiefs land at the Baron pit. Now they just walk down, get themselves a free Dragon.
And this is a Mordekaiser Dragon, so the Dragon is impactful even if it is only an ocean. Does Swiper want to go for the fight? Lucian is still in base. They don't know that. Maybe they do because the Direwolves backed away. Now they can go for this Galio combo. Shern will get pulled back in, and the taunt lands onto 3 members. That Gangplank Ultimate is doing work on the back end, but the rest of the Chiefs are here now. Big sets coming out for Destiny. However, Cupcake onto the back line will get a huge knock-up, and Triple is finally going to arrive. Puts it culling into multiple members. Ryoma goes forward, and that will be him falling down so his team can live.
And that's the 4 versus 5 the Chiefs needed. They actually win the fight there. 2 for 2 traded on the back end. They do have to back away. Maybe they don't win the fight. They get themselves an Ocean Drake. As finally Triple arrives. Direwolves carries do so much damage.
Yep.
King dies early, but in a choke point like that, when Triple has the culling onto multiple people, when the Gangplank
That's
has
the name
the
of that
barrels.
spell, the culling.
Yeah, with double L.
Yeah, double L.
Unlucky. That's all right.
Bummer.
But Direwolves, they get themselves the Baron. They don't get the the Dragon. They don't get the Mordekaiser Dragon that they wanted. As we're going to see this one again. Triple so far away. Ryoma is in the mid lane, and they actually get onto Shernfire first. This is a huge flash corner to multiple people, but Zhonya's stopwatch keeps them out of Razor's CC. Fire Panther so safe, so far away. Cupcake gets a huge engage. That's a taunt onto every single member. And they clean up Ryoma in the back end. He goes back in to sacrifice himself for the rest of Chiefs. It is just a 2 for 2, but Direwolves, they win the fight.
That started off a 4v5. That's petrifying.
Yep.
They burn the Sejuani passive. They don't have so many of their tools available because their mid laner, who is their most fed member, 303 Triple this game, is up 60 CS and has himself, you know, completed 3 items. Wasn't at the fight at all. And they still just are able to come out ahead. They just navigate it so well.
And that's the thing. It's about target priority, right? Like Chiefs, they went onto Sejuani because that's all that they had available. That's who was in range of Swiper. But if you use everything and the Galio ult onto the Sejuani, all of a sudden nobody has access to the backline. You have a Lucian, you have a Gangplank just absolutely popping off. Talia can't hit through frontline to backline. Neither can Swain, really. He just needs to go into melee range and Zhonya's. Galio is relying on the Camille to get onto the backline, so
how do you do it? Is it just split push? Do you wait for Swiper to get towards 6 items?
it has to be a flank, but Direwolves maybe just be pulling the trigger on the Baron straight away. Chiefs recalling, but they cancel.
Yeah, that's going to be Blue Orb U, so they will be in range in time. 6,000 health, 5,000 health. Direwolves will have to peel off unless they want it to be a 50-50. Swiper burnt the teleport.
Yeah, they get the TP out of the Camille, and it has to be a flank. Swiper has had priority in the side lane for the majority of this game. I feel like it's definitely starting to swing as Fire Panther gets towards that Sterak's. The kill potential goes through the floor, honestly, and has finished that, has the GA as well, so Gangplank is doing Gangplank things at this point. He does so much damage with the barrels, has the safety in the side lane, and Direwolves just happy to continually start this one up.
And you can see that they have to continually use that Swain W to try and stop it. Triple once again at half health. I feel like if the Chiefs can make an opportunistic play happen when they see Triple at low health,
And they're looking.
And they go, they actually ulti onto him. They will both use stopwatch immediately. Babbitt will fall down. The play at CC just was not there. And now Ryoma on the front line by himself. Has to use the Zhonya's. Razor flashes forward, explodes, but this is just not the Chiefs' day. You can see finally that is going to... No, none of them have fallen down. The Direwolves just all live.
And they just want the end. The stopwatch out of Triple. He barely comes up at the perfect time. Ryoma lands, and before he can cast the taunt, Triple spawns and gets the dash flash out of the way, so he does not fall down. That's the target the Chiefs needed, and they couldn't kill him.
Yeah, and right now, 20 seconds left on Babip. Everyone else is 30 seconds away. The Direwolves are not going to give any damns about the Chiefs today. They're going to march in, and they are going to actually pick up the 2-0. Remember, this was the OPL rematch. This was the Direwolves that couldn't carry Rift Rivals, but they can bloody well beat the Chiefs, and they will pick up all 3 points.
They eventually hit the Nexus. That's a rough call. They couldn't carry couldn't carry Rift Rivals.
That's the words of Sharp.
Yeah.
He said that they wanted to be the team that carried Rift Rivals.
But back domestically, you can see what it means. King clapping his hands, feeling very happy about that performance. And that was an interesting style we've seen for the Direwolves. You know, like they went back to the GP. We haven't seen BioPanther on that pickup yet. And honestly, looked very good. We were questioning Sharp in the draft phase, like how does he feel on this sort of pick? And I feel like a lot of pressure thrown his way. Looked incredibly good.
And
What was that?
I have no idea what that was, so we'll ask him.
Yeah, we will.
However, I think that was some cracks being shown in the Chiefs. That is the first time I've seen the Chiefs hard commit away from the 2v2 mid when they had the stronger 2v2 mid and continually go to side lanes. I'm going to say in a year. If the Chiefs have 2v2 mid, they normally play around 2v2 mid, and they really did not do that this game.
Yeah, all their pressure went to the top side. They wanted to get Swiper ahead in the Camille matchup. Unfortunately, like they found successful dives, but time-wise and the fact that they're against a Mordekaiser on the other side of the map means like if you make that play against a GP and you kill him and like slowly you're just whittling away his turret and then it's like an 80 carry in the bottom lane and sure, like they get an air Drake. You're like, whoop-de-doo, who cares? Like we're setting the GP behind, but because it's a Mordekaiser, an air Drake is suddenly a big threat on the other side of the map and Direwolves can take more. And it was constantly that idea of just taking more. Chiefs would make a proactive play. Sure, they would kill the GP, they would kill someone, but they would just lose everything on the other side of the map.
Because the thing about playing that style is you can play that style, but what you have to be confident doing is repetitively going to the lane until the Camille can 1v1.
Yep.
That means you have to give up a Baron, means you have to give up a top lane inhibitor. That's your win condition. You have to really commit to it. And you could see the Chiefs weren't willing to do that. As soon as Swiper couldn't win the 1v1, they were like, okay, now he has to look for team fights. Which in that case, you may as well just have tried to 2v2 mid lane.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like they'd missed the window by that point. There was a stopwatch on the Lucian. He got through laning phase, blowing flash at like level 3, completely unscathed. The next threat onto him was like maybe he was like level 11, had half of his Black Cleaver and the Bork, and he went for a pretty greedy build. Honestly, we were talking about in draft phase. Didn't go for the cleanse against the Galio clear. Didn't go like QSS. Didn't go Mercs. Anything like that, and just got through completely free.
And in the end, absolutely styled. So it is going to be the Direwolves 2-0 victors over the Chiefs. And one of their members, I think it's BioPanther, is alongside right now with Nick Boy.
It is BioPanther. BioPanther, congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations on this bad boy,
Of course.
our beautiful trophy. But what have you been doing since Rift Rivals? What's been the process like? You had some off time? Or
I've been just practicing like other characters, like of course like tanks, of course, but like I've been like being more flexible with my role and being more like just being more like flexible just as a player, honestly.
And that's lessons you've taken from
Yeah.
Rift Rivals?
Yeah.
Fantastic. How do you feel about the game?
I was really impressed. You know, I think Oceania is a region where everyone's like a shark. They smell blood. They think they see weakness,
Yep.
and they go in.
Yeah.
And obviously, because you're the new guy, everyone's trying to go in on you.
Yeah.
And then I see you guys picking Gangplank, who usually has a target on him anyway.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, man, that's brave. But I thought you handled that pressure really well.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is like, have you worked really hard on getting like dived and picked on, or is that something that's
No,
already
I
had?
just expected like when they like put a lot of pressure on me, I knew what I needed to do and like I communicated what like my team needs to do and like wanted to trade sides or what we needed to like just sacrifice and like keep me in the game because like I still had like Klepto, so I kept myself in the game like constantly. So
cool? That's some big leadership from a new player. That's awesome. The other question I wanted to ask was obviously you've come up from the OCS, and I'd love to know how Coach Curtis is fitting you in, you know, to his team's system. Obviously, you know, you might have different strengths and weaknesses from from Chippies, and I'd love to know like, yeah, I guess how is he helping you grow as a player, and how is he helping you fit the team?
just letting me be like having the freedom to like play to my comfort, and then at the same time being able to allow me to grow and like just keep like progression as like the #1 factor, and just like always looking for areas to improve on.
Okay, so really like focusing just on learning each week.
Yeah, learning.
Cool.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations,
Thank you so
BioPanther. The streak continues.
Yep.
And Johnny, thank you very much for joining me this evening. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thank you.
And we know that your mother was watching.
She was, yeah.
What did she have to say for herself?
She said, you know, getting on the inane question segment was a bucket list tick.
Yeah.
And I completely agree.
I completely agree as well. And we're also going to close it out with another parent shout out. Just wanted to say that Robert Lee is the father of two of our observers or refs. He watches the OPL every week. He's probably watching right now. Hello, Robert. And he's currently rated 137th on the OPL tips with a 78.6% accuracy rating. I don't know whether or not we were allowed to say that out loud, if this is some sort of weird insider information, but the word I'm getting is sure. So hello, Robert, and congratulations on your tips. How are you guys going in your tips? What's your accuracy?
Worse than Robert. We're both worse. We're at
I
like
didn't submit tips today, and I'm real annoyed because I would have picked Direwolves 2-0 because I want to hit on something that BioPanther said there and how Sharp is integrating him. Because Direwolves obviously acknowledged they didn't need chippies. Like, they thought that their trajectory was away from that. So he's not trying to fit him into Chippy's mold. The fact that he's just allowing Bio to do, you know, Bio Sing in
Bio.
his words, like, that is exactly how you should try and integrate the replacement of someone into your team.
Yeah, 100% has been set up for success, and he's finding it 100%.
Yeah, it certainly is. So that's going to be Direwolves picking up the 2-0. Earlier tonight, it was, of course, Order taking a 2-0 over the Bombers in... Mate, they all watched it. What do you want me to say? I apologise, my team won. The Chiefs, of course, fell down to the Direwolves, and tomorrow at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times, Mammoth is going to play Tectonic before Legacy take on Avant Gaming in what is 7th versus 8th. I cannot believe I'm saying that.
Yes.
That is normally your perennial, like, Gauntlet staples onto people that want to challenge for Gauntlet, and now it is 7th versus 8th. Bryce, give me your thoughts on tomorrow's matchup.
Yeah, I think honestly this week, I'm surprised that we have double 2-0s today, right? Like Chiefs Direwolves at the top of the ladder, and like that is such a close game. Tomorrow, I expect them to go longer. I feel like AV versus Legacy. Legacy coming hot off Rift Rivals, like Claire had a monster performance, but honestly, they looked shaky at times. So I feel like AV really need to start bouncing back, and for Legacy to cement themselves, like they're not like a 7th place organization, right? They've been at finals so many times. They've been through the gauntlet. They don't want to stay down there. We're only 4 weeks into the split, week number 5 now, but they need to have a clean performance.
And that is back-to-back 0-2 for the Chiefs. So I don't want to say anything, but if Tectonic, if Johnny's boys, and I'm about to get a woot out of him, I guarantee, pick up a 2-0 victory, they will go to 2nd place on the ladder, I believe. Cyclone. 2nd place, mate.
You seem surprised.
I love it. I was not ready for transfer. With that, guys, that is going to be us wrapping up on the show. On behalf of myself, Bryce, Hungry Jacks, our entire production crew, of course, Nick, Cyclone, BioPanther, and Tally, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow for some more OPL action. Engage comes out of the Direwolves, however, this is not going well for them right now. Triple, however, going to get a double kill, and the Direwolves somehow turn around. Destiny has to flash forward, but the turret's going to go down. First turret will be picked up, 2 kills, and the Chiefs are absolutely routed. Now Triple actually going to put big damage in. The flick will land, ulti will miss. However, now Babip has to flash away, gets Ignite and falls down. Flick is there, and the rest of the wolf pack is converging, and they get in, they pick up the double kill, and they are absolutely steamrolling. Churn will get pulled back in, and the taunt lands onto 3 members. That Gangplank ultimate is doing work on the back end, but the rest of the Chiefs are here now. Preset's coming out for Destiny. However, Cupcake onto the back line will get a huge knockup, and Triple is finally going to arrive. Puts it culling into multiple members. Ryoma goes forward, and that will be him falling down so his team can live. And now Ryoma on the front line by himself. Has to use his Zhonya's, raises, flashes forward, explodes, but this is just not the Chiefs' day. Remember, this was the OPL rematch. This was the Direwolves that couldn't carry Rift Rivals, but they can bloody well beat the Chiefs, and they will pick up all 3 points.